Hello everybody, this is Frankie Day for Frankie Day Models. Welcome to my channel. Okay, this is video number 2 for my USS Iowa and the scale of 1/200 by the good folks at Trumpeter. This is a beast, a real beast. Okay, I spent about 6 hours last night cleaning up the hull, and I've been working about 4 hours today getting the inboard skeg for the screws and the outboard shafts, and also the rudder. I decided not to make this thing radio control, but I'm going to put this in a display case, and I'm going to take it to my job I work at, and I'm going to put it there for display. Show some of my customers my work, my models I do. I can always get another one of these, make it radio control, but I got so much under my belt, and I don't want to go out and spend more money on this and money on that because of my age. If I was 20 years old, I'd go full boats, but right now I'm a very happy man right now. Okay, back to the Iowa, of course. The decks are not glued down. They're on here just for checking for fit issues. It fits pretty good. The deck actually fits real well. Now, on the hull, on the bow section, I went ahead and I used Tamiya. This stuff works very well. It's a lot more thicker. You guys have probably seen it before. I got about 8 bottles of these things I bought. I was so pleased how it works. I got more of it. I glue that on there on the bow section right here, on the forward bow. I let it dry. If it was really dry, I went ahead and took my sanding boards. Don't use your hands, always use a sanding board. If you don't have a sanding board, get yourself a block of wood and get some spray adhesive and glue the back side of your sandpaper, glue it on the block, and you're good to go. Remember, no sand with your hands. When you sand with your hands, leave a mark of an amateur. So always use a file board or a sanding block. Before I applied any filler on here, which is very little, the same thing on the scorpion right here. When I joined this piece, when it dried, I dry sanded the whole thing. I used the filler. Because if you want it, because it did leave a gap, there was a gap in this, on the underside fits very well, real good. But on the sides, up here, it presented a gap probably anywhere from 1 to 2 millimeters of a gap. So after I sanded it real well, I went ahead and added the filler after it's done. And it's really smooth here. You can't even feel it. It feels like rest of plastic. I can close my eyes and work my hands over. I can't feel no imperfections. That took about a couple hours to do all that. Then underneath the hull, you got tick marks over here from the sprues when it was separated from the injection molds. However they did that, but always sand down your on these big jobs here. 81 350 scale, it don't matter. It's just a bigger scale. Always sand down the bottom of that hole right there, and clean up all those ejection molds marks that they made on there. And after that, I went and got the skegs all sanded down. Those rudders do move. The friction lock in there. I got the skeg right there where the 5 liter props go. The 4 liter props on the outside screws. Now, a word of thought here. Now, Good folks at Trumpeter, they molded a Jacob's ladder. It comes up over from the fantail. Now there's a little bit of a seam line like that where it was sanded. So when you sand it, but you take very, very care. I mean care, seriously. Because if you sand this way, you'll sand that ladder off. But a lot of the guys out there building things get sanded off anyway, just add motor wedge to it. So I may go that route. Anyway, this has been sanded already. We'll see how it goes. Got the whole hulls all I sand down this whole hull with wet with water and wet and dry sandpaper. Then any heavy sanding done was buffed out using a finer grit sanding board. It's nice and smooth right through here. So I gotta go to the hobby shop tomorrow. I get paid tomorrow for my job. I'm gonna go down there and buy a shitload of paint for this thing. Now, on Iowa class battleships, like any class of battleship, somewhat from ship to ship to ship, there's little changes done to it. And they say, well, I like that. I like this. I don't like that. Oh, you don't? Well, how come? Well, we don't have this and don't have that. And they correct it. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is, fellas, is that do your research on this thing. I did a lot of research on this thing. I seen the New Jersey. I've been aboard of New Jersey and also the Missouri. They're very low freeboard. They're a big ship. I think how was it a foot, 7 feet less than the Titanic. The length of the Titanic is 800 something. One of my commentators, I think he's an ex sailor, swab jockey like me. I don't think Iowa class battleships had torpedo blisters. I think the whole ship itself was a torpedo blister because it does have a very wide freeboard right here. I mean, a very wide beam, and it's all honeycombed with watertight compartments that superseded torpedo blisters. Now, there's some details they left off on this hull. You got scuppers, little vertical scuppers come down. I got some sheet styrene over here. Actually, they're just the strips of styrene in different millimeters and different sizes. And I'm gonna go ahead and get a. I got a blueprint of this from the floating dry dock, Tom Wakawak. That's his name. I think he's a real nice man, and he has all the stuff out there. He deals with models, publications, especially blueprints. I bought a blueprint of this at 1/16 scale, 1/192 scale. I use that scale to supersede the flub-a-dub work that Sterling did on their wooden kit of the USS Missouri. So I use that plan to build the Missouri with. And someday I'll bring it in here and show. Well, I won't be there any much longer. At the new place, new house I'll be getting in about a week or so, and I'll bring it in. We'll show you that up against this Iowa right here. Shows you how bigger the 1/16 scale is. The 1/16 scale is 55 and 3/8 inches long. This is only 53 and a quarter. It's big enough. It's big. It's huge. And I'm happy. Deck's filled out very well. No problem with the deck area. You have to work slowly, and you got to make plans. When you're dealing with a model this size, any model you build, it don't matter if it's like this or like that. You got to always put a plan of construction what you're gonna do on. I've already made my plans. This already. I get more plans every day. I have one of my commentators said, "You ought to get one of my commenters and my subscribers." I said, "Frankie, you need to go and get a Pontos fitting set for this thing." I said, "Well, I don't know." So anyway, I did some research on it. It's about as much as the kit cost. So you got the ponto set for this thing here. Depends how much you paid for your Iowa, Missouri. I got this thing for 400 and Jesus, how much did I get it for? $403, 404. It's 434 with tax and everything. Yeah, yeah. Some are $500-600, like I mentioned yesterday in Bucks View. Because we're lucky I got this at a good price, and my kids got it for a good price. I teach my kids how to shop. I mean, they know how to get things, and I know the reason I found out how much it cost. When I opened up the box, there was a receipt in there. I had no idea. I said, man, they really got this thing pretty cheap. So I was pretty happy about it. Very happy. Thank you, Megan. Thank you, Christine. I love you. I'll be watching this video. So this will be my mainstay video. I'm going to probably get about 30, 40 videos out of this thing. It's got 1,500 parts. Enough to keep me busy. Okay, I've been making some plans. Still getting the ponto set to this thing. I'm going to sketch build my own parts on this thing. Like all my sculptors. That's money saved there. Instead of using the deck, some people say Iowa had regular natural decks. They did after World War II. They removed all that tea stain. See, the stain that they use on these things weren't paint. It was made from tea. Here's another one trivia for you right here. Your Dixie cup, your white hat. Get them blue like that. You had to put in the tea, a stain of tea, with a little pigment in there. You take your hat and you soak it in there. That comes out blue. Dixie cup. Same thing on these decks. By the time you got all hands walking on decks, running every day, it takes that stain right off. So what I'm doing the decks right here, instead of getting the Pontos decking or any kind of a deck they got for this, I'm not going to go there. These decks are very, very finely grained. And what I'm going to do is, first thing I'm going to do is when I paint these decks, I'm going to paint them with Tamiya deck tan, deck teak wood. We'll give it a good coat. When it dries, I'm going to go over and airbrush some enamel lacquer over that, let it dry a couple of days. Now I'm going to mix me some dark Norfolk blue paint, and it's going to be like a wash, and I'm going to stain right over that tan deck, and that'll give it the wood grains and also the stain grains. Same thing in one level, the other two level. I'm pretty satisfied with everything in the kit. I did quite inventory on everything after making the unbox with you. I said, well, I don't have the money right now to even get. Well, I got the money. There's no problem, but I don't want to get sucked in buying all this goddamn PE stuff. They give me enough already to kill already, Jesus. And that's the only thing bad about Tamiya kits. They make some good kits, like all their kits, like the Yamato, uh, King George up there, and also the Missouri, New Jersey, and all those ships, all those models. They they give you a good kit, and they kind of suck you in and they got smart. It all started up with the USS Enterprise. Excuse me a couple seconds, guys. Let this dog in. Get in your way now. USS Enterprise, 1/350 scale by Tamiya. Aired out 1980 when it came out. I never bought one of those yet. I got one that I bought from a friend of mine. And I might be working that probably this year sometime. But anyway, but that kit right there, when I looked at it, it was, man, that's all they give you in this thing? How much it costs? And they're like Alex Modeling. He said this is a lemon kit. And I said, well, no, Alex, it's not a lemon kit, buddy. It's a suck you into more money kit. Because at the time when that kit came out, photo etch was starting to come in by Lauren Perry. Lauren Perry of Gold Medal Models was the first gentleman out there that produced the photo etch world. His personal design, his own invention. So he's a grandfather and great grandfather of photo etch. By the time Lauren Perry's Gold Medal Models came out, that's about the same time that they released the USS Enterprise by Tamiya in a scale of 1/350. The big kit's about 1 meter long. And they knew, the Tamiya model company knew, well, hell, why don't we just give them a good kit and they're going to buy stuff anyway? Why don't we just give them a kit and they go out and buy all the photo etch, do what they want to do? That way we'll keep the price down. Because they weren't keen in the photo etch. They probably are now. So that's how a lot of stuff got started. This here, I use my own skills on this thing. Like I said, I'm going to go ahead. I'm not going to prime the decks first. You do that, you can obscure all those planking. Whole model's been washed down already. I washed it down with some good Joy soap. Gave a good bath, cleaned up real good to get all that machine oil up there. Same thing on the deck, so I'm going to be applying that deck teak paint on there by Tamiya. When it dries, I'll give it a good clear coating of clear lacquer. And let it dry and go ahead and give it the wash. When it comes to scuppers, they're simple. I had some scuppers on there on the side there. I drilled up the portholes too. Yeah. Using my fin vise right here. Boy, I wish I had a lot of cameras like, see them? See how I wore them out? A little extra touch. Stuff like that I enjoy doing. So I got about 7, 8, 9, 10. I got about 12 hours on this hull already. I've already seen it is only the valve section here where I had to put together the fill, the skegs, the screws, screw struts, shafts, and also the rudders. That's the only thing I glued. And every one of those parts were all sanded first before I added filler because make sure it's nice and flush. And add the filler. I'm going to go ahead and use uniform gray primer. I'm going to go ahead and prime this whole hull. Take the deck off. And when it dries, I'm going to airbrush my black all the way from the freeboard aft to the stem, to the stern. Now I got 1/4 inch stripping tape. I got 3 rolls I got from O'Reilly's up here. And when it's all dry, add my pinstriping across there. Then I'm going to tape this portion of the hull, and I'm going to paint red oxide at the bottom of the hull. And above there is going to be haze gray and flat black for your camouflage. The deck's going to be painted Norfolk blue. Deck blue. And there's another thing too. An Iowa class battleship didn't have a pulpit. A pulpit is an object that overlaps the stern or the bow, which you can look like on a fishing boat or swordfish boat. A pulpit on a battleship is that big, boy, this thing is big, on the bow right there. A round tub up there, that's called a pulpit. Well, on the Iowa class battleship, the USS Iowa didn't have that when they first launched it. Then they found out during the war they better put one on there. Then when they launched the Missouri, New Jersey, they had the pulpits on there. So this went back to Puget Sound. They put a pulpit on there. Now the pulpit on the Missouri is a lot different than it is on the Iowa. Because the pulpit comes like this, it rounds like this. Then you got a little round stepping like this, what comes up where the guys can jump up, where the crew can jump up on top of the pulpit and man their 20 millimeter aircraft guns. But on the Iowa, the pulpit on the fashion plate where the guns mounted weren't circular; they were more or less straight. It don't matter. It don't matter. I'm not going to go that far. I'm not going to be a rhythm counter on my work or anybody else's. It's an Iowa class battleship, the USS Iowa, the first of the four classes. A lot of people say, well, she didn't have the decks weren't stained. Yes, they were. During the Korean War, Vietnam War, Gulf War, they were just regular teak decks. They had to be holystoned all the time. And the decks code, like I said in the earlier video, is when you're tramping on deck, manning your battle stations, like crew quarters and plan of the day, and everything else. And it wears off. So that's why I go ahead and elected that stain on there when I do. I'm not going to go buy no decks. I saved myself a lot of money with how I did the technique on the Titanic. I look at it now. Look, you can see all the planks on this thing. It's a lot better than what you get down there, photo etch or anywhere else, photo etch stuff or with decks made for you already. Okay, guys, as much I got on this. I should have another video of this in about a couple of days. The whole be all primed up, might be painted by then. Then everything else will kind of fall in place. So I'm gonna hop on the Scorpion over there and get that thing going. I found out I got two of them, two Mobius kits on the Scorpion. I wasn't gonna make this radio control. I said, screw it. I'll go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and just make this a static model. And when I make a radio control, I'll go ahead and get the other one out and order me in a watertight compartment, a watertight cylinder, and go from there and have some fun. Okay, let's see here. That's about it. This comes off. The whole deck comes, everything comes off. One thing that's glued down this thing is a forward bow section here, screws and skegs, and also the rudders. Everything else is sanding and preparation work. So there's a lot of work to do. So when you pull this hole out, don't think you're gonna go ahead and put it together real quick. You're not. You got a lot of preparation work. Like I say, you got all these ticks down the bottom here where they snap off and they rise up. You got to sand them down and get them nice and clean. The combination ladder back there with the fantail, I'm gonna go ahead and probably add some photo etch to that. It look nice. Give it a little 3D. Also, I noticed about these trumpeter kits, the scale. They how would you explain that? Leave stuff out and make the easy way out. Like right now, they put all the scuppers on here. I got to put them on there myself. They're scuppers. These come down like these little scuppers. Not very many of them. But I'm very pleased with this model. And I love my daughters for buying this. And they bought it at a good price, too. I opened up that thing. It's $430. I said, geez. And I went on eBay and looked at them and said, man, these things are $500-600. I don't know. It must have. I think it was an Amazon truck that came by. Yeah, it said Prime. I think it is Amazon because the guy knocked on the door. I had a sign for it and everything. I said, "What's this of?" It says just to you. Sign. Have a good day, sir. I had a wonderful day. I'm having a good day now. Okay, that's it for the night video too. So I figured you guys get a little rise off this thing. I painted some more superstructure in the Titanic. I've got all my photo etch parts. Got windows, railings in there. I got all my photo for this stuff here. Remember, I'll be working on the Titanic also. And right now, I'm just having a blast right now. Okay, well, knock off ship's work. That way I can walk back and let this dog out again. Yeah, back, excuse me, guys. This is getting ridiculous. You're staying outside. All dogs stay outside. Okay, guys, you got to pardon me twice for that. Well, I hate intrusions. Okay, that's about it for Frankie Day for the day, guys. Um, so I should have another video of this. By the time the hull will be all prime, probably painted by then. So, and the video of the Scorpion, I have that for you probably tomorrow. And so that'll be it for me. Okay, guys, you guys take care of yourselves. This is Frankie Day Model signing off. Take care of mama, take care of the babies. Take purpose when you drive. And spend wisely. Get yourself a kit, enjoy your Christmas wares. And we're gonna have a good year, guys. We're gonna have a good year. With the new Congress we got coming in right now, things are we'll have this thing nip in the bud. Because I say so, that's why. They always call me Nostradamus. Because I can see the future. I can see things other people can't see. I'm pretty well gifted for that. Yeah, since I'm talking about that stuff, before I sign off here, I guess I'm in a rambling mode. I can remember Mrs. Winters was I was in the fifth grade. She's my teacher in elementary school. I'd always was a good student, did my homework all the time. I always had good grades. And once in a while, I would drift from my work. I would look and stare. And the teacher says, "Frank, you think you're thinking a lot." I says, "Yeah, I am thinking." I says, "What are you thinking?" This is, God darn, so more over 60 years ago. I says, "What our country's going to be like." I said, "How's it going to be like?" Ruins. I told her, "You ever seen the Twilight Zone before?" And she goes, "Well, yeah, I watch it all the time." Mr. Bemis, the librarian, the man with the glasses, and everybody ridiculed him because he always called him a bookworm all the time because the guy liked to read. And that day we had a big nuclear war went boom. It didn't tear the library up. He had all books all over the place. He was so happy. My books. His glasses fell off and busted. Man. Anyway, I was pretty much in deep thought back in those days. I didn't think we'll have a nuclear war. I mean, I told my teachers how we're going to get destroyed so with an end. I said, I know one thing, Mrs. Winters. I told America will never be destroyed by a foreign power. If it gets destroyed, it'll be destroyed with an end. And I said, how are we going to destroy it? It says bad government. I said, go back in history. Look at what Hitler did to Germany. He beguiled all these people, promised them this, promised that, and they found out he was nothing but a big liar. And left this country in dire straits and ruins, almost no Germany. That's past history. Anyway, I should have a video tomorrow for you on the Scorpion. In a couple days, I'll have the video on the Iowa. Show you how much of Frankie's got on there. I'm gonna try to get this camera set up so I think at a certain part of the day I can really get some good shots. I think it's more or less daytime. If I make my videos using that camera right there, I'm gonna be able to get more clear shots of everything, and just try to concentrate in one area with that camera and go from there. I gotta post it somewhere with in an attitude where it's you face down on me, like I did before. Anyway, I got things going. Okay, I'm out of here, guys. You guys take care of yourselves, and we'll see you tomorrow on day for the Scorpion. So stay posted for that. And thank you very much for your wonderful comments and your views too. All my new subscribers, I appreciate you guys very dearly for joining my channel and everything, for subscribing. And like I say, with you guys, I'd be building, but I would not be enjoying myself, sharing my stuff off because I got no one to share but me and God. So you guys are my family, my ears and my eyeballs and everything else. So we're all here as a community to enjoy. Okay, I'm out of here. We'll see you guys in the next video. It'll be tomorrow, so stay posted for that. And God bless you all. And Happy New Year to you. And be good. If you can't be good, be careful. Well, we'll see you guys tomorrow.